It's that time of the year again where I give you guys my top 10 favorite wrestlers of the year. Last year I did a favorite female wrestlers of 2018 video and I literally just forgot to record the favorite male wrestlers one. Whoops. So this week we're actually going to go ahead and start with my favorite male wrestlers, and next week I'll upload my top 10 favorite female wrestlers of 2019. There's not a single promotion that isn't off the list. It's not just WWE, it's WWE, New Japan, AEW, MLW, NWA, all of the above. Every promotion is allowed on this list because I watch too much pro wrestling. I'm a lonely mark. That's so sad. But these are my top 10 favorite male wrestlers of 2019. Before we go ahead and deep dive into this list, I gotta give you guys some honorable mentions first. I gotta give a little special highlight honorable mention to Chris Bay. Chris Bay is an independent wrestler that wrestles out in California, mainly for Future Stars of Pro Wrestling, where he's currently the FSW Heavyweight Champion, also has been winning titles in Maverick Pro Wrestling, and holds another belt that I just can't think off the top of my head. But he's been making cameos in all major pro wrestling promotions this year. As recently, he was just on 205 Live making his WWE debut against Ariana Navari. He's made countless appearances in Impact Wrestling and in Ring of Honor. And recently, he tweeted out a picture of him and Cody Rhodes talking about how Cody doesn't really know him. Then Cody sent back that gift. Chris Bay by far is one of the most athletic wrestlers you're ever gonna see. Honestly, he gives me a little bit of a reminder of like Isaiah Scott or Shane Strickland in a way. So don't be surprised next year if you see this man on USA Network, TNT, Fox, or maybe Access. Because 2020 will be the ultimate finesser's year. But here are the rest of my honorable mentions. And it's a lot. Walter, the Street Profits, Rusev. What? Huh? He hasn't really done anything so far this year, besides coming back and being a cuck. He hasn't done anything, alright? So as far as like all-time favorite wrestlers, he's still top 5, maybe top 3, top 1. Yeah. But in 2019, he just hasn't done anything. So, you gotta be honorable mention this time around. Keith Lee, The Fiend, Kenny Omega, AJ Styles, Pac, R-Truth, MJF, Cody, Mance Warner, Moose, Killer Cross, Jay Lethal, Eli Drake, Rey Mysterio, Bo Dallas. Yeah! I still love Bo Dallas. God, I just love that guy. Jeff Cobb, Ortiz and Santana, Jacob Fatu, Adam Cole, Cesaro, Lance Hawaii, Isaiah Scott, LA Park, Mr. Grimm, and King Corbin. Yes, I said King Corbin. Yes, I said King Corbin. I like him, alright? He's getting over now. Y'all can't tell me that Baron Corbin ain't lit in 2019. Number 10, Sami Callihan. I've been ranting and raving for months upon months about how great Impact Wrestling is. And the man that probably sits on the top of that pedestal of that company right now is Sami Callihan. But Sami Callihan as an in-ring performer and as a person on a microphone is one of the best in 2019, but y'all just don't know it because y'all ain't watching enough Impact. I don't know what the man does on his free time, but he really has that really hardcore military veteran smoker voice that really commands attention every time he speaks. But this faction that is leading right now in OVE and Impact Wrestling, on top of all the stuff he's doing outside of Impact, preferably for independent promotion AAW, he absolutely has been the definition of do-it-yourself in independent pro wrestling. Number 9, Drew McIntyre. It is mind-boggling that this man has still yet to get a World Championship match in 2019. Obviously, WWE has big plans for the guy because they wouldn't have put him against Roman Reigns at WrestleMania for nothing. On top of the fact he was part of that amazing tag team match at Extreme Rules, having him and Shane McMahon taking on Roman and The Undertaker. And do you guys still remember that scene where Undertaker's going for that chokeslam or setting up for the tombstone, and McIntyre just slowly arises right behind him? That was shot perfectly, and McIntyre's face looked like he wanted to kill him. Then again, you can't kill what's already dead. But you know what? This is wrestling, not supposed to make actual sense. So, while 2019 came to a halt earlier this summer, it was very obvious that this man will be pushed towards a world title very soon. As he was shown on SmackDown Live back in April, he was the first man to interrupt Kofi Kingston when he became WWE Champion. WWE knows they have a star in this man. It's only a matter of time until the whole world knows that this man is World Championship contender worthy. On top of the fact, he just looks like a 2002 Triple H. Number 8, Roush. It's not Rush. His name is not Rush. It's Roush. I'm not a big fan of watching Mexican wrestling. I don't watch a lot of AAA. I don't watch a lot of CMLL. But when Major League Wrestling announced that they had signed Roush for a couple of shows, I looked at this guy that absolutely looked like a more jacked version of Andrade, honestly. And I started looking up stuff about him and I realized, oh my god, he is athletic and intense as all get out. I love it. While he didn't end up actually wrestling for MLW, he did actually transport that talent over to Ring of Honor, where he came in and dominating the entire roster until recently becoming the Ring of Honor World Champion. Personally, I had the chance to actually watch him live because I went to Ring of Honor Best in the World. If you guys are big fans of Andrade, and trust me, his name is going to be on this list as well. But also, you don't really want to watch a lot of WWE. Watch Ring of Honor, watch Roush. You're pretty much getting the same thing, but he's just more jacked and a little more intense. He's like Mexican Goldberg, and I love it. Number 7, Nick Aldis. If it's not apparent by now, I am a huge fan of the National Wrestling Alliance, the NWA. And their current champion has been on a crusade for the past 2 years, defending the NWA World Heavyweight Championship, don't forget the S. Not just across North America, not in Mexico, not in Canada, but the whole mother freaking world. He's defending that title in China, the UK, Ireland. Well, I mean, Northern Ireland's part of the UK, not Ireland as a country, but you guys get what I'm saying. He's been all across the globe, all across the country, all across all continents defending that title, except for Antarctica. Unfortunately, they don't have wrestling there. But if I can see Nick Aldis versus like the most jacked penguin, I will pay money to see that. Always being one of my personal favorites when he was in TNA under the name Magnus. To see the pedestal that he's now been put on by the National Wrestling Alliance, to be the world champion and essentially carry that entire company on the back of his shoulders, has been a sight to see, especially with the new debut show of Power. Number 6, Andrade. If you like pro wrestling, and you did not like the Andrade versus Mysterio series that went on SmackDown earlier this year, there's no hope for you. Take your stupid fandom and watch a different sport. Or, not sport, whatever you want to call it. Go watch hockey, because Andrade is simply one of the best performers in WWE right now. Main roster, NXT, anywhere across the globe. Andrade is one of the best. Tranquilo is real. The man doesn't even need to say a word because he has Zelina Vega, who's an absolutely amazing mouthpiece. His transitions between moves are absolutely flawless. We've all seen the big moonsault he does off the top rope, only for the guy to roll out the way, and then he does another little backflip and it splats on top of the guy. It looks so cool. The man delivers 5-star matches. I mean, obviously you saw the match with Johnny Gargano. It was a classic. And given the fact the only thing that's holding him back from winning championships is honestly the language barrier, which apparently he's been taking a lot of English classes so he can, be a little more fluent. 2020 or 2021 better be the year that Andrade gets that WWE championship. Also, he's dating Charlotte Flair, so he has nothing to worry about. He has job security for the rest of his life. He is Andrade Flair now, which I don't know if he really take that offensively. So she wants to be like Charlotte Almas. That's cool, but as far as I'm concerned about that job security, you are Andrade Flair. Number 5, the Lucha Bros. I like tag team wrestling. I'm not the biggest advocate for it in the world, but I think it has its place in professional wrestling. But considering that WWE is the biggest wrestling company in the world, and they don't really do tag team wrestling up to par. Of course, with the exception of NXT, because NXT is obviously amazing. DIY, the Revival, they're all great. Honestly, the Revival should be on the honorable mention list. Same thing goes for Ciampa. Not a big Gargano guy. But you look at tag team wrestling outside the WWE, oh my god. I'm gonna talk about Impact a little bit more, but not just Impact. Also MLW, but not just MLW. Also House of Glory, but not just House of Glory. Also AEW, because the Lucha Bros are all around the world. They are excellent at what they do. Pentagon has that star quality power that I think just gets over with any fan base possible. Zero Miedo, that is so over. I freak out when I hear that in arenas. Rey Fenix might be one of the greatest wrestlers in 2019. In ring wise, on the microphone, he's actually pretty good, he's underrated. But Rey Fenix might be one of the best wrestlers in the world. I have never seen a man just be so athletic. What is he made out of? Does his bones not break? I know he had an injury recently, but he got over it pretty quickly. What does he drink in the morning? Because no man should be that athletic. The Lucha Bros have defined tag team wrestling with their classics Impact Wrestling against LAX and the absolute warfare they've been having with the Young Bucks in AAA and AEW. But I can sit here and start listing matches off for you guys, but we will be here all day. The Lucha Bros are the greatest tag team right now in professional wrestling, and I can put that against any other tag team you guys have in mind, because I know I'm right. Number 4, Velveteen Dream. Of course he's gonna be on this list. He's repping that DMV. He's from right here in Washington, D.C. Where's that McFoley pal? If you look at all the takeovers, who has been stealing a show every single time on the undercard? It's always Velveteen Dream. Every single time. He's been stealing takeovers since day one. With that classic against Aleister Black and a year later against Tommaso Ciampa. He has been doing some excellent work. And in 2019, that work paid off as he became the North American champion, where he put on a wrestling clinic with Matt Riddle at TakeOver New York. And while eventually he did end up losing his title to Roderick Strong, which was only a matter of time, he had to drop it eventually. Maybe outside the theme, but Velveteen Dream is the best gimmick in WWE right now. There's not a single soul that has not been entertained to some degree by Velveteen, if it's on the mic or in the ring. Honestly, he's moving like a cruiserweight, and like Ronald McDonald, I'm McLovin' it. And considering the man didn't have a large independent wrestling past before he got to WWE, it is absolutely insane the amount of spots this man can pull off. And overall, if you just know a lot more about Velveteen Dream than most people do, to see this clip,
this isn't the end for you. I think it's a taste. I think it's the beginning.
To see that both these men held pro wrestling championships in major companies the same year, absolutely insane. Number 3, Kofi Kingston. I am an African American man. if that isn't obvious enough. If you guys are African American and you don't like Kofi Kingston, you don't even need to be black. If you guys don't like Kofi Kingston in 2019, if you didn't find that championship win to fill your heart with joy, oh my God, you don't have empathy, you don't have love in your heart, and you also don't have compassion, because that was thrilling. Kofi Kingston becoming the WWE champion, the first African-born WWE champion, was a moment in history, and to me, and I will say this to the end of the time, the greatest WrestleMania moment of all time. Better than Daniel Bryan, better than Austin versus Rock, better than all the Hulkamanias. Kofi Mania reigns supreme. That was an underdog story that no one saw coming, that no one was rooting for until it was right dead in our face. As Ali got injured and Kofi replaced him, the moment was building up till WrestleMania 35. When Kofi Kingston hit that Trouble in Paradise on Daniel Bryan and hit that 1, 2, 3, tears rolled down my eyes. And I'm not even upset about it because, oh my God, that was emotional. The greatest WrestleMania moment ever. I'm still upset it lasted only 10 seconds to face Brock Lesnar. But you know what? We got a solid 6 or 7 month reign. He beat a lot of good names. Styles, Zayn. Well, Zayn never wins anything, but still Zayn, Owens, Ziggler, whatever. Orton, twice. I'll take what I can get. Good job, Kofi. Good job. Number 2, Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho is the greatest pro wrestler ever. Fact. No one is better than Chris Jericho. But Malcolm Will Ospreay can do all the flips. But Malcolm Braun Strowman is stronger than Chris. I don't care. He's better than all of them. To be a great pro wrestler, you don't have to just be great in the ring. You have to tell really good stories. You also have great character development and be really good on a microphone. Check, 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 and check. He's the greatest wrestler ever. You cannot tell me this man does not know how to reinvent himself. The amount of times Chris Jericho has changed or added on to his character. Tell me someone else that can get the word "it" over, besides like the movie series. Now in AEW, he's known as the Painmaker. He has a Judas effect, which at first sounded like a really dumb finishing move of a back elbow, but honestly, looking at it in person, it's pretty dope. The man's been adding on to his moveset. The man's been adding on to his promo work. I mean, Le Champion, a little bit of the bubbly. It is great. You cannot tell me Chris Jericho is not the greatest pro wrestler to ever live. He doesn't have to be your favorite pro wrestler. He's not my favorite ever, but he is the greatest to ever live. And that's a fact. You don't have to agree with me, but you have to agree with me because I'm right. And number 1, Lio Rush. What did y'all expect? I mean, literally, who else could have been number 1 on this list, honestly? If every other video, if I'm not mentioning Lio Rush at least 10 times, then y'all need to send me some Benadryl, because I'm getting sick. Lio Rush, I've been saying this for a long time now, but now it's just been solidified, because he actually has the belt to prove it. He is the greatest cruiserweight in the world. Fact. But Ricochet and Ospreay and Zack Sabre. Shut up. Leo. The amount of stuff this man can do in the ring is unprecedented. Y'all saw the stunner that he does off the bottom rope? That is, How are you able to do that? How does the rope bounce you back in that way? Like, Look at the man frog splash. Eddie Guerrero was sitting at the right hand of the Lord Jesus Christ himself, with a bag of popcorn and clapping like Shia LaBeouf in that gif. On top of the fact of his amazing in-ring ability, I mean, the man's promo work is great. The only reason he even got on Monday Night Raw is because all the vignettes that he was posting of himself on Instagram, that got seen by Vince McMahon, and that's what got him up to Monday Night Raw to begin with. Sure, there's been bumps in the road, sure he was gone for a couple months, but for him to come back and do that well in the ring like he did before, crazy. Much like a Chris Jericho to a degree, obviously not the same amount, but the man knows how to reinvent himself well. Now he's no longer the guy that's screaming alongside Bobby Lashley. Lashley! He's not doing that anymore. Now he's the guy that came back with like kind of little twisty dreads. You growing out dreads now, Leo? Y'all can't tell me I Wonder also wasn't a banger. I didn't know that man could sing. Y'all know my history of Lio Rush. You've seen me on Instagram lives before. You've seen everything I've done with Lio Rush or talked about Lio Rush so much on this channel that it should have been expected. That's what I was gonna say for number one anyway. But yeah, guys, it's pretty much my list. In the comments down below, let me know your favorite male wrestlers in 2019. And next week, we will be talking about my favorite female wrestlers. And I think that list, it's a banger too. So, I mean, come in next week. Let's talk about it then. But make sure to like, comment, share, and always subscribe. And we outie.
We going up like 1,000. I'm a flex just like a MuscleManMalcolm. We going up like 1,000. I'm a flex just like a MuscleManMalcolm. When it just like 1, 2, 3. If you like the channel, this subscribe. If you like the channel, this subscribe. If you like the channel, this subscribe.